2014 will go down as a year of turmoil and intrigue for the MXGP and MX2 World Championship, but also as one of the great years.
I think this season it's one of my best. I have to say, it's I think on the top 3 of all my career, because I was on the podium almost all the races except 3 rounds, and while also these 3 rounds, one of them I was winning till the last lap.
Cairoli once more on a KTM 350 SXF faced a tough year from the Suzukis of Strybos and de Sal. A rejuvenated Yamaha with Jeremy Van Hoorbeek and the speed of Paulan on the Monster Energy Kawasaki. Under the lights of the desert in Qatar, it was Paulan who got off to the best start. Tangling with his teammate on the fast circuit, the lanky Frenchman took his first blood and made the most of his chances to take the overall ahead of Max Nagel and a subdued Cairoli.
First race in Qatar, I wasn't ready, because I had a fracture on my leg just on the last race of the Italian Championship, and that wasn't too bad. But I had to stay out of the bike for almost 3 weeks, and that's not really good when you start the season. And I also didn't have really good feeling, on the slippery track of Qatar to put my feet down and make it happen. But anyway, I had a good race. I cannot blame that result for sure, and also after that I felt already better after the race, and after it goes much better in Thailand.
Red Bull KTM champion was back to winning ways 1 week later in the heat of the Thai summer, pressurising Clement de Sal, who was another man riding his way into fitness, into mistakes, and taking the overall Grand Prix win. But it was the 3rd place of Jeremy Van Hoorbeek on the Yamaha that raised the most eyebrows that weekend.
In the beginning I was scared to sign Yamaha because of the rumors and people talking bad about the 2013 bike. Then I finally made my decision, and I was motivated because I wanted to prove wrong to the people, and I felt straight away that it would be a great season because the bike was getting really good to my feeling, and I felt awesome on the bike. So I knew I could do some great results with it.
And he did just that. Moving to round 3 in Brazil, Van Hoorbeek played the spoiler in the fight between Paulan and Cairoli on the red clay, a duel that the Italian won. MX2 was going according to plan as Jeffrey Herlings wrapped up wins in Qatar and Thailand, but he was not in Brazil due to injury, and the race wins was up for grabs. His teammate Tixier fell hard, and it was left to Arno Tonus and Glenn Coldenhoff to take a win apiece. Tonus took over as the MX2 World Championship leader. Jordi Tixier struggled.
The first few GP was not good for me. Qatar, Thailand and Brazil, I didn't ride really well. I was really bad, and just before Arco di Trento, I tried to change something on the bike in my training and was working really good. And in the time practice, I just tried to make fastest lap, and I crashed, and I broke my bones in the hands, and was like really bad.
Tixier struggled through the 2 races in Arco di Trento, and it meant that 4 races had gone past without a podium visit. Tonus was on form again with 2nd overall. But it was a returning Herlings who would take the day's spoils from a determined Glenn Coldenhoff, who won another moto on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki.
Tonus held the red plate, but what of Tixier?
I tried to ride in Bulgaria and I put the injection and was rocking really good because I did the first podium of the 2014 season, and from this moment start some really good results since till the end.
Returning to the GPs in 2014 was the legendary brand of Husqvarna, and they brought with them another legend in the shape of the 2008 MX2 World Champion Tyler Rattray.
Yeah, it's great to be back. You know, I've met a lot of great people when I was over here racing, and coming back, it was always a goal of mine to come back here and try win an MX1 championship. You know, I'm happy with the decision I made. I think the 350 is a great bike. It's got more than enough power. And, you know, obviously at some tracks, like maybe this weekend in Bulgaria, will be at a little bit of a disadvantage with the hills and maybe a little bit muddy.
That was the understatement of the year. As for the MXGP boys, Bulgaria was the only true mudder of the year. Clement de Sal on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. It had been his usual slow start to the year, but he bettered Cairoli and Trentino, if not in Bulgaria, and was starting to find his feet.
I managed to train as good as I can between the race and also have some good result to the race, enjoy riding, enjoy training. No, it starts really, you know, and it's all the time after the 4, 5, 6 race that we see how it's going, and I think now it's good to be consistent till the end and win as much as I can.
Consistency is what you need, physically and mechanically. One of those things, though, went wrong for Cairoli in Valkenswaard in race 1. Damaged front wheel after a hard landing robbed the KTM rider of a win and handed the advantage to Paulin, who took it with both hands to win race 1. An advantage that lasted less than a lap of race 2. In a dramatic turnaround, Cairoli recovered to win the Grand Prix while Paulin left the track in an ambulance, and we would not see him race again in anger until the Czech Republic. Round 6 took us back into the bullring of Spain.
After 3 years without GPs or World Championship motocross in Spain, now we are right here in Talavera de la Reina, for me one of the best tracks in Spain.
Talk about home advantage. Jose Butron rode like a man possessed in Spain, while Tixier raced like a ghost of himself. Butron held off all comers and even booted Fevre off on the last lap for good measure, but he couldn't hold off Jeffrey Herlings. And that made it 4 wins on the bounce and the championship lead now for the fully fit Dutch Bullet. While in MXGP, de Sal took win number 2 and closed the points gap on Cairoli, who could only manage 4th. Cairoli bounced back to win in Matterley Basin, but someone was missing from the fight. Gauthier Paulin, who was still out injured.
It was pretty tough to have a look at the Spanish GP and the GP of England, and to be here at the French GP. It's really important first of all for my fans and for all my partners, and because I really love motocross. So it's tough, you know, to arrive with my car, with my fiancée, and being here and seeing that bad girl alone and without that I cannot ride on. It's pretty hard to me to accept it.
Nevertheless, the typically insane French fans at Saint-Jean-d'Angely got one of the races of the year, as de Sal got inside the mind of Cairoli. On lap 13, Cairoli slipped up and de Sal was through and uncatchable. And it was more of the same in race 2, Cairoli leading from de Sal. And once more a crash for the Sicilian. This time though it was de Sal and Van Horbeke that got past him, and that's the way it would stay to the flag as de Sal closed the gap to 20 points in the chase for the World Championship crown. That was until Maggiore in Italy, and that is coming up after the break. A huge crash for de Sal robbed him of valuable points and began a run of questionable luck for the Belgian as Cairoli won at home. As one challenger started to slip, so another re-emerged as Nagel returned from injury at his home race, fired up to do some damage. Never headed in the first moto, Max Nagel proved he was far from a spent force, and he began a stunning second half to the season that saw he and Honda emerge as a force to be reckoned with. Behind him, the two Suzukis raced hard and were evenly matched as a team, with Kevin Strybos revelling in the hard-packed track.
Second moto was second in Germany, so which was good, and then unfortunately I was fourth, so just missed out on the podium. But I think, yeah, you know, working hard like everybody does probably, and things are looking good.
Right after Germany, they were looking good for de Sal too, until the teammates met on the start straight in Sweden.
I don't think it was really my fault, you know, because I came from the outside. I got pushed to the inside, and I think he came a little bit in with too much speed, you know, and that's where he hit my back wheel. So, yeah, maybe he was a little bit too fast to brake, and but yeah, you know, I think these things happen. It's not nice when it happens to your own teammate, of course, and I wish him all the best, and then hopefully he can come back quick.
It was bad for Suzuki, but great for Cairoli, as what had always been his bogey track at Uddevalla suddenly came good and caught out the other riders instead, like Stephen Frossard. A double moto win and the championship lead was up to 47 points now over Jeremy Van Horbeke. sands of Hyvinkää in Finland were a happy hunting ground for Jeffrey Herlings as he continued his dominant and inexorable march to the MX2 title.
I was in the best possible shape I was ever at just when I got injured. The weekend before was in Finland and I won both motors with over 1 minute up front, so I was just in great shape. And I told you, if nothing is gonna happen, but for some reason God just hates me this year. Charlie Tixier got all the luck from the world and I had all the bad luck from the world.
Luck may have been against Herlings, but Tixier faced a new challenge, that of trying to close a 143-point gap in 8 races. In the Czech Republic, he faced his first test.
The year before this happened also, Jeffrey was also injured in the shoulder. He dislocated the shoulder. And it was also my time to win the GP, and everybody was behind. Yeah, you have to win the GP, you have to win the GP, and this is not happened. I had too much pressure and I crashed really bad in England. And I was not riding good. I was so tight on the bike. And this year I learned from the past year. And when Jeffrey was injured, I say, he have a lot of points on me, but everything is possible since the last race. I just give my best. I win the first GP in Loket, the track I really don't like. I hate that track, and I win my first GP on that track. So it was really good moment for me.
It wasn't just a momentous day in MX2. Not to be outdone, the MXGP boys put on one of the best races of the season on the slick Czech soil. Gautier Paulin was back racing, but out of practice as he hit the gate. At the front, Strybos, Cairoli and Van Horbik slugged it out for the overall.
It's one of the favorite soils, not the track especially, but the soil is one of my favorites. It's slippery, it's slick, getting rough, many bumps. And you know, I was motivated. I knew I like it there. I guess it was my day, so it was an awesome day. I was second first moto, and I knew I had to win the second moto, so that's what I did, and I won my first MXGP.
Jeremy, I think, surprised a lot of people. He's being very fast and consistent, so that's not a thing that you see a lot in riders. You know?
That win for Yamaha was a precursor to some real drama for the mark 1 round later in Lommel. Max Anstey, who had struggled since the opening rounds with his bike, loves the deep sand of Lommel. But though he was due to start from pole position, it was unclear if the bike would make it to the gate. Then, with seconds to spare, it fired up and Anstey lined up to race. Winning Moto 1, Anstey rode like a man possessed in race 2. Crashing out in the second, due to a stuck throttle, it was almost over. As Jordi Tixier won the race and took valuable points, it was Max Anstey who crossed the line in second to take his maiden Grand Prix win. While Lommel was kind to one Yamaha man, it effectively ended the championship challenge of another in MXGP.
I've learned a lot about Lommel again. A mistake I made again, but it makes me smarter for 2015, sure. So I'm happy They happen, but not in a bad way, you know. And if you see what I'm doing, I think still more to come of #89.
Storms overhead couldn't stop Cairoli as he thundered towards another title with the GP win, and it was all up to him to seal it in Brazil. Nervous moments for Cairoli and KTM on the cusp of another championship. It almost went wrong as he hit the stricken TM of Davide Guarnieri on lap 1. Cairoli sucked a lot of roost throughout the moto, but the final result was never in doubt. He passed who he needed to, and he made sure that the title was his with 3 motos left to run in the season. 8 world titles, a feat matched only by Stefan Everts in the modern era, and a mix of joy and relief for the 2014 MXGP world champion. One down and 1 to go. This was the big one. Herlings returned to race, but he was far from healthy.
One thing to advise, never ever ride with a broken femur after like 7 weeks, because it will kill you. Every bump, every jump, every left turn, every little stone, you feel it and it hurts really bad. So don't ask me to do it over again. I would never do it, and I advise you to not do that ever in your life.
Just before the second moto, I don't know, I had the feeling like my stomach was completely destroyed and I had so much pressure, and just before the second moto I said to Jeffrey, good luck buddy, and the better is gonna win. When I feel Tonkov just land on my back, I say, now it's finished, the championship is over. And I crashed in the next corner, he was in my wheel. And the time to go, Jeffrey was just in front of me and was like really bad. When my mechanic put, you are 4 and you have to pass 3, I say, okay, I just give all, I don't care if I crash, my feet was out of the feet packs, but I just give all, I passed Lieber and I was in the 3rd place. I did it for everybody, and that title is just, it's gonna stay in my head all time for sure.
With all the racing done for the main season, it was time for the finale, the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations in Latvia. Team France were in epic form, led by Gauthier Paulin in MXGP, who won the opening race in style. Tony Cairoli tried to lead Team Italy to the podium by racing a 250, but his day ended with a big crash that left him hobbling. The USA hit the deck more than once, and Ryan Dunge's 2nd place in Moto 1 was their high point. Paulin's win set the balls in motion for the French. Cairoli lined up for race 2, but he inexplicably hit the gate and his day was all but done. Stephen Frossard was nailing it for France, but Strybos wasn't to be denied in the sand and romped to the front and took the win for Belgium. 4 nations had a shot at the win in the final race: France, Belgium, Great Britain and the USA. But with Tomac crashing in turn 1, it was looking rocky for the Star-Spangled Banner. Belgium and France duked it out, but Paulin was unstoppable and was passed and into the lead on lap 4. A heroic ride by Eli Tomac up to 3rd place, and a snap chain for Sean Simpson of Great Britain sealed the podium in the closing laps of the final race of the day. Paulin won his 2nd race, and Team France won their first Motocross of Nations since 2001 to cap a fantastic year for the FIM Motocross World Championship. Join us in 2015 for the next chapter. Well, that was your podium: France, Belgium and USA at the Monster Energy Motocross of Nations.